Today I'm going to defeat Stockfish, the strongest chess player on the planet. And I can already hear you guys saying, no you're not. It's not possible for a human to beat an engine that can calculate millions of positions per second. But you know what? It is possible. Stockfish is not perfect. And I'm feeling pretty confident. I've been studying my openings, doing some puzzle rush, and I'm going to take the white pieces, so I will have the advantage of the first move. And as long as I don't blunder, there's no way I can lose. Okay, so I'm going to start with e4. And we're going to have a Rui Lopez on the board, it looks like. And he's doing a Berlin defense. I like to play d3 here. And he plays bishop c5. Okay, what's the move here? Just castle? Yeah, I'm going to play it safe. Let's get the king to safety, and he's going to put his knight there. Hitting my bishop. I don't see any reason why not to just take the knight out. I think I'll do that. Now we can get in c3 with tempo on the bishop. That can't be a bad thing. All right. Now I'm going to play bishop to g5 and pin his knight. Feels good. He's going to put the question to me right away. And you know what? I feel like since he hasn't castled yet, if I play bishop h4, he's probably just going to kick it with g5. But whatever. Oh, maybe not. He's going to hit this bishop instead. Okay, bishop c4. Oh, well, I don't know. Bishop a4 could be better. If you play bishop c4, then d5 comes with an attack on your bishop. So it limits your options. But I don't think that's going to be good for him anyway. He hasn't castled. Let's go for it. Haha, d6. That's what I like to see. Now how about I play queen to f3 and give him a damaged pawn structure. Anything wrong with that? Does he have any tricks? He'll probably play g5 in that case. Let me just play it safe with knight to d2. You can't go wrong with that, right? Okay, he is going to play g5. All right. Looking good. Okay, so is this really just, am I just in trouble already with the kingside pawn storm coming? What do I do about this? I mean, he is threatening to trap my bishop, so I have to do something here. I play h4 here and he takes, and then the bishop takes. At least his knight is pinned again. So let's try that. Oh wow, what the hell? This is kind of crazy. What happens if I take this pawn here? Then he's going to, how is he going to deal with me taking the pawn? That just feels pretty good because I'm targeting f7. What the actual hell? The knight is pinned. I'm taking the pawn. I'm here to win, guys. And now, okay, so he's defending the rook with the queen. So now the knight can go somewhere. If I take the pawn, he'll take with the knight. All right, I think I'll play knight to f3 here. If he goes g4, can I just go knight to g5? I feel like I can get away with that. Let's try. Oh, he takes like this? How is that good? Do I take with the queen or the bishop? Or the knight? My queen is going to be running short on squares here, though. I don't think there's any way out of that. My queen is getting trapped here. That's why I feel like I should take with the knight, so that the queen can escape somehow. What happens if I take with the knight? Does he play knight to g5? Is that his move? What if I take with the queen? If I take with the queen, where's the knight actually going? I think queen takes h4 is safe. Interesting. Once the knight moves, I can go to g5 with the queen, right? Will he try to stop that with f6 or something? I don't know. But I do have the g5 square for the queen for the moment. There's an issue here with this pawn's pinned. So the queen could take this bishop out. I think I should play d4. Gotta block that diagonal. Oh, how did I not even see that move, bishop to d8? My queen's in trouble now. My queen is in some trouble. So what do I do? Where can I move that queen? Knight's going to g5 or f6. Do I have to do something miserable like queen to h1 and then put a piece in the way? This is so bad. I'm going to try it. This probably is just going to go down in flames. But, you know, what are you going to do? And then we play knight to h2. And what happens there? Something horrible? Yeah, well, he's going to get the e-pawn for one. Let's go here. I'm still going to try to win, by the way. The material's even, but he's about to take my bishop on g3. How am I dealing with that? Bishop has nowhere to go, and I don't know what to do. So I'm going to take a pawn here and let you take my bishop. At least after this, I'm attacking f7. Oh, dear God. That's very bad. I can only put the rook in the way. And something told me he wasn't going to take my rook out. This is what happens when you play the engine. Okay, bishop d3. Oh dear me. Defend! I'm down a lot of material and there's no way to untangle myself. I cannot do anything. I can't even get out of the pin. You know what, guys? I think as much as I hate to say y'all were right, I really feel like this is the end of the road. very, very soon. I mean, I know I've lost, but it's just a matter if I want to continue to humiliate myself or not. That's the only question. I have like no moves. The only piece that can even move is this bishop, which I'm just going to move here because I have nothing else. And he's just going to castle. And then what do I do here? Just move the bishop. He's going to double up. He'll have 3 pieces hitting my knight on h2. But I'm not going to resign. I'm going to push forward over here. Oh dear. This is the end. This is checkmate. Can I get in? How many more moves can I last? What can I do here? I can throw the bishop in the way. And then I think it's mate on the next move no matter what I do. I'll get one of my pieces back. Ah. Well guys, thanks for bearing witness to my public display of delusional optimism. But you know what? At least I tried, damn it. At least I tried. Okay, time for the post-mortem of shame. And I actually didn't play this as badly as I thought I did. I wasn't losing until, I believe, move 15 was my fatal blunder. But we had this Berlin defense, and I don't like playing castles here. That's why I played d3, because I like to avoid this line here where the queens come off the board early in the game, which would probably have been the smartest thing to do against an engine. But I had to stay true to myself and play for a win like I said I was doing. And so I played this d3 move. This is what I play against humans. It avoids all that knight takes e4 stuff. So we had bishop to c5 here. And I just castled. I sort of forgot about this knight to d4 move, that's good for black, which is why I think in the past I played c3. But it's not bad. This is all mainline theory. Okay, we exchange on d4, kick the bishop. So far so good. And the safest thing for me to have done here would have been knight to d2 and then just put the knight on f3. But I played bishop to g5, which is really kind of asking for it against an engine. It's not that bad. Kicks the bishop, but anytime black hasn't castled and you give him the opportunity to start pushing these pawns, it can be very dangerous, especially against an engine. And I really should have known better, but it's not all that bad. My bishop gets kicked, and I chose the right move, bishop to c4. I was looking at bishop to a4, which the engine thinks is a lot worse for some reason. I'm not sure what's so much worse about it. Sometimes when you put the bishop on c4, then it can be good for black because you can get in d5 with an attack on your bishop, whereas on a4 that wouldn't attack your bishop and you'd have more options as to what to do in the center. But here it's not a problem. And Stockfish played d6 here. d5 is actually playable. You can take like that and then check, and it's about an equal position. But anyway, d6, always happy to see that against an engine. It means that you probably haven't screwed up too badly. And here I briefly considered queen to f3 with the idea of taking on f6 and doubling his pawns, which isn't even a good plan, according to Stockfish, if I'm allowed to do it. But I didn't even realize that this was totally losing for white, putting the queen here. Can you see why? Take a minute, look at the position, and see what's wrong with putting the queen right here. It's not that difficult. Black wins with g5, and if you drop your bishop back, bishop to g4, queen's trapped. Can't go here. So I'm glad I didn't play that. Played it safe with knight to d2, and then we have g5 anyway, driving the bishop back, and then h5. Very scary, although white is doing just fine here, which I kind of figured I was. It just seems a little early for black to be winning with something like this since his king's in the center. I figured I would have things to do. I did choose the right defensive move here. You have to do something about the fact that the bishop's about to get trapped, and h4 was the correct move. h3 would have been completely losing after h4, bishop drops back, and then g4, just cracking the position open. But with h4, the move I played, what are you going to do? You take on h4, then the bishop captures, this pawn is blockaded, this knight's pinned. That would be good for white. If you play g4, well, now the pawn structure is locked up. Your kingside pawn storm has kind of come to a halt. Now this move, knight to h7, I really didn't see coming. You never really expect pieces to be moving backwards, and you don't really expect pawns to be offered in such a fashion. I've never really seen a line like this. And white's doing just fine here. Very dangerous, obviously. This queen can easily be trapped. If I wasn't targeting f7, then you'd really have to worry about a move like this. But f7 is targeted by my queen and bishop, so that's why queen to f6 is played. And this sets the stage for my big blunder. So looking at the position here, I realized that taking on g5 was a mistake for white. After knight takes g5, my queen can get away, but this opened file here to my king is just going to be, that's going to be curtains. So I had sense enough to avoid that. And then moving the queen is bad too, as much as I would like to get my queen out of there because of this. The bishop drops back and then the rook. You have this ready-made attack along the open g file. The best move for me would have been d4. Makes sense. You're ahead in development. He's trying to do something on the wing. Attack in the center. And the engine says if you were to try to take on d4, you can play e5 here. Because if he takes on e5, boom. Look at that. Can't take with the queen, or else guess who's losing their queen? So you really got to be looking for ways to take advantage of the fact that his king is in the center. That's what you got going for you. You have to counter what he's doing over here, trying to trap your queen, trying to attack your castled king. But I played the big blunder, knight to f3, pressure on g5. I was calculating g4 and just putting my knight to g5. Looked pretty safe. You're hitting f7 3 times. If he takes, you got the g5 square for the queen, everything's fine. But actually, knight to g5 was not the correct move here. I could win with knight takes e5 if he would have played that, because after the pawn takes, boom, the bishop protected by my queen. That's nice. But of course he didn't play g4. Stockfish chose the winning move, g takes h4. And I looked at all three of these different captures briefly. I knew that taking with the knight was probably bad, yeah, because this looked pretty scary. You're opening the file again, and what does white really have to show for this? Something bad is going to happen on the h file. The best thing for me to do, I mean, it's still losing. Bishop takes h4, it's hitting the queen. Queen goes to g7. I don't remember why exactly I rejected this, probably because I just didn't like this position, and this knight's going to move, and here I'm supposed to play knight to h2. Yeah, it looks pretty miserable for white. So I played queen to h4, I guess hoping for the queen trade, which I should have known wouldn't happen. Queen to g7. Then I noticed that my bishop was in danger. If this queen had to move somewhere and wasn't no longer defending the bishop, since this pawn is pinned, it's not defending the bishop, then queen takes g3 was a potential move. So I just decided to break the pin. It doesn't really matter too much what I play here because white is totally lost. And I just totally missed bishop d8, which is just curtains. I did find, I think, the only way to save my queen, which is queen to h1. If I would have played queen to h5, then knight to g5. That's the move I was looking at. Yeah, there's no saving the queen there. All the squares are covered. So queen to h1 is forced to play this miserable move, which of course drops the e-pawn. And from here, it's just all downhill. Knight takes, pawn takes, and then once this happens, you know, I'm forced to block with my rook. It's my only legal move. And eventually the queen's coming in here, targeting the rook. Yeah, not much more to comment on here. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments. Consider liking and subscribing if you want to see more of it. And I will see you on the next video.